Let's kick things off with a pretty bold question. What if I told you that the main reason most folks stay broke isn't actually a lack of income, but just a complete lack of strategy? Seriously, we're all taught to trade our time for money, right? But nobody really teaches us how to make that money work for us. So in this explainer, we are diving deep into the exact foundational habits that self-made millionaires use to architect true financial freedom, literally from scratch. Let's get into it.
Now, you might be wondering about a really common paradox. Why do we constantly see these superstar athletes and massive celebrities go totally bankrupt just a few years after signing multi-million-dollar contracts? It's crazy, right? It completely shatters this idea that simply earning more money automatically makes you wealthy. So if making millions doesn't actually make you a millionaire in the long run, what does? To clear all this up, we're going to break wealth creation down into 5 totally actionable parts today. We'll cover the great money lie, assets versus liabilities, the power of time, building multiple income streams, and finally, the millionaire mindset. Consider this your personal blueprint.
All right, part 1, the great money lie. It is definitely time to rethink what we've all been taught. So think about it. Ever since we were kids, we've been fed this super simple formula, right? Study hard, get a good job, and everything will be totally fine. Well, reality paints a vastly different picture. Inflation is constantly rising, the cost of living spikes year after year, and standard salaries, they barely even budge. Relying solely on a high-income job is kind of like being on a financial treadmill. You're running yourself exhausted, but you're staying in the exact same place. Because here's the absolute truth. Income is not wealth. The real secret sauce is keeping and actually growing your money. And this hits the nail on the head as to why those high-earning celebrities lose it all. They focused entirely on the cash coming in, but their outflow was just as massive. I mean, earning $1 million literally means nothing if your expenses are $1,000,001. Moving on to part 2, assets versus liabilities. It really boils down to, what are you actually buying? You see, the paths of the wealthy and the average person totally diverge right at the checkout counter. The average person buys things that drain their wealth, while millionaires buy things that build it. The wealthy have absolutely mastered the art of delayed gratification. They absolutely refuse to buy luxuries until their wealth-building engines can actually foot the bill. So let's make sure we're defining our terms here. An asset is simply a financial vehicle that puts money into your pocket. That's it. It generates positive cash flow for you, whether you're grinding at the office, sleeping, or just chilling on a beach somewhere. What does that look like in the real world? Well, we're talking about things like stocks, index funds, rental properties, digital businesses, or royalties. When you acquire these things, you aren't just buying an object. You are literally buying a personal little money printing machine that works for you 24/7. Now, on the flip side, a liability acts like a giant financial leak. It's something that actively takes money out of your pocket. It constantly requires feeding, upkeep, and your attention. Think about those expensive cars, the latest luxury phones you buy on credit, massive credit card interest, and those endless subscriptions we all forget to cancel. These are the everyday traps that keep, like, 99% of people totally broke. If your cash is constantly flowing out to service these liabilities, you'll never have a single dime left to buy the assets that actually buy your freedom. Let's jump into part 3, the power of time and the absolute magic of compound interest. Here is a huge takeaway. Starting early is infinitely more powerful than trying to invest massive sums of money later in life. There's a reason Albert Einstein famously called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. The rule is pretty simple. Those who understand it, earn it. Those who don't, pay it. To put this into perspective, imagine you start consistently investing on day 1. By year 5, honestly, the growth is pretty slow. You might even feel a bit frustrated, but stick with it. By year 15, your earnings are actually out there earning their own earnings. And by year 30, boom, you hit this massive wealth snowball effect where your money is multiplying exponentially. Patience really, really pays off here. Okay, part 4, building multiple income streams. It is all about diversifying that cash flow. You know, depending entirely on a single paycheck from one employer is actually one of the riskiest financial positions you can possibly be in. If that company suddenly downsizes, your income drops to 0 instantly. Yikes. Millionaires instead build this financial fortress around themselves by creating multiple, diversified streams of income. That way, if one stream happens to dry up, the others just keep on flowing. For a self-made millionaire, a traditional salary is just one single slice of the pie. The rest of their wealth is supported by these amazing overlapping systems. We're talking investments, dividends, rental income, and online businesses like affiliate marketing or YouTube. They never rely on just one pillar. They build a fully fortified foundation. And that brings us to part 5, the millionaire mindset. It's time to learn how to think like the wealthy. Because let's be real, without the right psychology, absolutely none of these tactics are going to stick. The average person gets their paycheck, pays their bills, has some fun, and then tries to save whatever is left over, which, let's face it, is usually zero. But the millionaire habit flips this entirely upside down. They invest first and then live on whatever remains. Simply reversing that order of operations is a game changer that guarantees you are prioritizing your future self. It is quite literally a 2-step golden rule. Step 1, invest your money first. Step 2, live on the remaining money. By completely automating this process, you remove human emotion and that nagging daily temptation to spend. It ensures your wealth building takes absolute priority over any fleeting desires. Now, we also really have to reframe how we view debt. There is such a thing as good debt, which actually helps you build wealth. Think business loans or investment property loans, where the asset itself pays off the balance. Then, of course, there is bad debt, which is consumer loans for luxury items that just trap you in a cycle of compounding interest. The wealthy aren't afraid of debt at all. They just use it as a strategic tool to acquire more assets, rather than letting it control their lives. Ultimately, the wealthy literally never stop learning. They are constantly reading books, studying the markets, relentlessly upgrading their skills, and taking calculated risks based on all that knowledge they've gathered. Because at the end of the day, their mind is without a doubt their single greatest asset. So remember this, financial freedom is absolutely not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is all about making smart, strategic decisions consistently over a long period of time. This whole journey requires true patience, unwavering discipline, and just a total departure from average everyday thinking. I really hope this explainer has completely shifted how you view money, and that it's left you with a concrete blueprint to start architecting your very own wealth. We've grouped these concepts into 5 core frameworks today, but they really encompass all 7 of the foundational habits of self-made millionaires. But hey, knowledge without action is pretty useless, right? So I'm going to leave you with one final question to think about. Which of these habits will you start building today, and what is the very first asset you're going to acquire?